ask you a question. When's the first time you heard about Zergs in Rust? There's probably a video, right? Solo bankrupts a clan. When a clan tries to raid, clan gets a wake-up call. Lanky brunette takes on 10 men. They make for fantastic villain material, man. I'll give them that. I'm not an idiot. It's not hard to see why. Most of the time, they represent the worst of the game. Overwhelming players not with skill or ingenuity or even with dedication, but with numbers. And chances are, if you play this game, you're solo or in a small group. So statistically, your experience of clans is probably getting offline, getting griefed, or worse. I mean, Rust is widely held as one of the most toxic communities in gaming. If you get an average 12 man together from that sample size, they ain't gonna be peaches. But so many of you will miss out on one of life's greatest joys. Hot big boy raids. I do not condone the use of a large group of players to bully smaller groups or solos when unnecessary. I don't want you to go kill whatever server you're on with 15 of your kind of friends. That's not what this video is. What I want is for you to form up and challenge the shitheads that have been pasting the same tired copy pasta into all chat on your favorite server for a year, using overwhelming force to crush your enemies and drive them before you, to hear the lamentations of the women. That is what is best in life. I'm talking about the white whales, the behemoths, these chunky boys that have riches beyond your wildest dreams. You've seen enough of these videos to know that there's good and bad groups, and I'm here to help you start raiding like one of the good ones. Welcome to the Complete Idiot's Guide to Raiding with a Clan. If you're watching this, I'm willing to bet a few of you might be newer players, or maybe you haven't played Rust at all, so I'm going to put the very basics right here at the beginning of the video for you. These are the things that I'd want anyone in a big raid to know. This is the chapter to send to your friend with only 30 hours that you're about to bag in before a big raid, so they know what to do. I'm going to address that little buddy now. First off, hi there, little guy. Well, look at you. Aren't you a big, scary raider with a big bad gun? Yes, you are. Now, your friends have given up untold hours and suffering to make what's about to happen. And if it goes poorly, which if they've invited you, it probably will, they're going to be looking for any opportunity to blame you. So here's what to do and not to do. Do point your gun at the base that you're raiding. Shoot at the bad guys who pop out of those cute little windows and roofs. Do use walls. As you push up to the base that you're raiding, space them out so that your team has nice cover to protect from those mean old defenders and counters. Do bring extra materials, ammo, or a few extra guns for rekits. In general, you don't want to come to the raid without everything that you'd possibly need. Now, do not run out of the raid base with these pretty metal rockets. They're very dangerous and best left to the grown-ups unless they give you special permission. Do not run in front of your friends holding the rocket launchers. This can lead to getting hurt and going to time out, i.e. box sorting duty. Do not jump. If you are rocketing or if people are rocketing behind you, it's best to strafe side to side and in and out of cover without jumping.
Oh my!
You jumped into my rocket, man.
Do not clump up next to your teammates. Lots of defenders like to use explosives in their raid defenses, and if you're standing right next to a teammate, you'll probably both die to a stray grenade or an HV rocket. Do not clog comms. In general, this means shutting up, because if you have significantly lower hours than the friends you're raiding with, it probably means whatever you have to say doesn't matter. If anything, you can use the in-game team chat or VoIP for asking questions to keep the Discord call clear.
You go in the door and there's a dog in there. The dog wants to fuck you.
Fuck the dog?
Every time that you fuck the dog, you get $25,000. Do you fuck the dog?
Wait.
And no one ever knows about it. No one will ever know but you.
Because he railed the dog!
You rail the dog.
Holy shit.
Put him down. Put him down.
Okay, I'm gonna go talk to the grown-ups now. Run along and have fun. Why don't you take an AK kit out of the locker and run to Outpost by yourself to buy wood with all the scrap? Good luck! But before you go, don't forget to subscribe. As creators, we work hard on these videos for your enjoyment, and a lot of the times the only payment we receive is the satisfaction of seeing your viewers' enjoyment, and a great way to show that appreciation.
We're trapped in the belly of this horrible machine, and the machine is bleeding to death.
Look, man, I'm not some 400 IQ sweat lord Vital player with 20k hours and a bad attitude. My group is not hashtag controlling Vital. We don't play the competitive scene, and we pretty much lose 50% of every even match we get into, and typically get bullied out of our first build spots on wipe day. If OT is the Ivy League of clans, then this is definitely kindergarten. But if you're new to larger groups, then you're the Appalachian homeschooled child who never learned to read. So I might as well be tacular to you.
I was permanently banned from Rust. It wasn't for using DMA.
Truthfully, this video is more for the benefit of my own group than anyone else. If you've played in a larger group of experienced players, I doubt I'll have anything new to share with you today. We have what you'd call casually online clan knowledge, or COC for short. This video is an attempt to share our COC with nubile, supple, and untouched clans. Now, I've broken this into sections, mixed in with some examples from my group on a wipe where we sent 3 huge raids with over 1,000 rockets each. On a 2x. You can check out the individual parts if you want down here. The first is motivation. The first big problem you'll find with actually getting your group to do onlines is motivation. Overcoming the fear of failure is something that's been a constant uphill battle for our group. Demotivation can seep into your base and eat away at groups like a parasitic lichen, sucking all the nutritious life and joy out of your wipe. Every group is going to have no trouble finding excuses not to do onlines. It'll happen like this. Hey, let's online raid these guys.
Nah, y'all are a bunch of burgers. This shit's chalked, bro. No one listens to my call-outs, and no one's crafting me meds. I'm AFK in base. This shit's boring.
Actually, we only have 16 boxes of rockets. I think the largest raid that we could organize is on a wooden 2x1.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was on a team with a bunch of pussies. What's the matter? You afraid of losing? This is Rust. If you wanted to win all the time, then go play fucking Genshin Impact, you invertebrate, slimy weebs. Get the fuck out of my base. Look, we all put a lot of time into this game, and you wouldn't have if you hadn't already learned how to lose. How many times have you tried to get someone into this game and they say something like, nah, I tried to play Rust, but I always die so much. Well, no shit, Sherlock. I died 86 times before I ever placed my first foundation in this game. And after pushing through that feeling, I was rewarded with one of the most dense, fruitful gameplay loops in the last 20 years of video games. Why the fuck are you afraid of throwing rockets at a base that you might lose when you've spent way more time and energy just to die over and over again already? And have a blast doing it. Part of this video will be about inspiring your team to go forth into battle, to follow you into hell. But to inspire, you gotta be inspired, man. Learn to fall in love with losing, because you won't win every time, unless you prioritize the experience. Look, if I played 2 wipes, and in one, I sent 3 online raids, and I lost every one of them miserably. But in the second, I filled my base up with loot, boxes of AKs and rockets, packed to the gills with high quality scrap. But I raided no one. Which one of these do you think will be more memorable? Because the loot is going to wipe either way. Change your mindset. Become the group that you want to be. Make the story you want to tell. Release your inhibitions. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can do it for you. Now that we've talked about motivation, we need to talk about preparation. Every frozen corpse on the slopes of Mount Everest started off as a highly motivated person. The ones that made it to the top were the most prepared. Or they sacrificed the most Nepalese Sherpas to the mountain god. I don't know. Getting everything prepared is a monumental undertaking. And most of the time, it feels like you're in charge of a bunch of coke-addicted toddlers, and you have to get all their shoes and socks on before school. Here's a few things we do to make it easier. Step number 1, survey the base. Where will your fob go? Do they have SAM sites that you can shoot out for an MLRS strikes? Are there any gaps in build privilege? A few hours before the raid, and as everyone is logging on, they should be putting at least a bag a square or 2 away from the raid raid target. Step number 2, staging area. We've gone so far as putting boxes of meds, extra ammo, locker kits, even a little bit of boom in a small staging area right outside the base in our compound. But aside from being a fucking awesome spot to make speeches, this also serves as a place to bag in friends that might not be authed on turrets or shotgun traps or even know where everything is. It's really just a centralized spot for everything that you need to bring can go. So you don't have the dozen players asking where's the meds, where's the AKs, where's the ammo, where's the walls. Step number 3, roles. It's worth making sure that you have a few volunteers or conscripts to do everything that needs to be done. Some of the roles are rocketers, deceptively harder than you might think. You want people who know how rockets fly and land, but you don't want to handicap yourself by putting your most experienced players behind a launcher instead of an AK. Choose wisely and decide beforehand how many will start rocketing and know where you're rocketing. I have cat hair in my mouth. Snipers. Put 2 of your most hyperactive roof campers into the top of your raid base with heavy plate helmets, insend ammo, and L9s. Or if there's a 20,000 hour vet on your team with a throbbing hard-on for an M2, this would be a great place for him too. Their duties include keeping the pressure up on roof defenders so that they stay away from your rocketers. And this is the big one, stopping seals. Looking for the particle effect of twig being built and shooting it out before the defenders can upgrade. Breachers. You generally want your UKN degens in this category collecting clips for their killtage.
These kids are dog shit. They're fucking dog shit kids.
While the rocketers continue to pummel the base. Their job is to push in and deal with whatever else is in the way after blowing the bases back out. Players, turrets, traps, anything. You may decide you want to have a specific utility role for something in particular, like turret guys or an MLRS dude that has a spawn next to abandoned military base, or someone to put down walls and to close off the space between the FOB and the raid target for counters. Now, there's a secret base layer role underneath everyone, a bedrock that all of this rests on, which means that if something fucks up, if breachers need ladders, or if you need more stuff from your base, or if someone needs to craft doors, if anyone says, can someone do this? Then fucking do it. If there's a job that needs doing, then I want everyone climbing over each other to volunteer. I don't want everyone to sit there and expect the next guy to step up. You are the next guy. The buck stops with you. Now there's one other role that I haven't talked about yet, and that's the role of a leader. Whether it's a raid boss, shot caller, or captains, someone has to be in the role of making snap decisions in the middle of the fight. Because as much as you prepare, there's going to be stuff you can't plan for. We'll talk more about this later, but for now, let's talk about strats. There's a ton of different ways to go about online raiding a big group. Determining which strategy to use can depend on things like the confidence and skill level of your group, the history with the raid target, the stage of the wipe, and if you have specific goals in mind, like getting loot, or if it's all about sending a message. A few popular examples in today's meta include the siege raid, top-down, smash and grab, raiding for the raid base, and more. And with every online raid strat, you have to consider this. This is the toxic to Chad continuum. This is a spectrum marked on either side by how safe your strat is, but also by how cringe it is. If you come over here, see this green has a double meaning. Sure, green is usually safe, inviting, secure. You'll increase your chances and you'll probably win, but green can also mean the poisonous, damage over time swamp in Dark Souls that gets Hidetaka Miyazaki Kumi. Meaning taking the safe route usually means that you'll look like a toxic asshole bitch boy doing it. On the far right, you have tracking your enemies on battle metrics and waiting until they're offline. Yeah, pussy shit. We're going to talk about something that's just to the left of that, though, which is rocketing from the raid base. And I have some footage of this one, actually, of my group using it on a group called RTA. And that stands for Runny Tire Ass, as I understand it, and they were a clan that had been pissing us off in all the right ways. Roof camping us, running to and from our base, raiding flank bases, talking shit in chat. So when my buddy Woods put this together, he basically said, yeah, there's not going to be a single rocket that leaves this raid base unless it's out of a motherfucking launcher. Because he wanted to be all but sure of victory. Nothing fancy, stylish, or impressive. Just a straightforward pummel without risking much. If you have absolutely zero faith in your team, either because the enemy team is better than you, or they have more numbers, or because you're just not very experienced, then this is the strat for you. It'll likely take more rockets than if you were to push up and surgical strike those loot rooms and TCs, but if you can afford it, why would you let any boom leave your fob? However, this does mean you have to have rock fucking solid control on ground, because otherwise the defenders will just push out and raid your raid base. What you'll notice in our example is that all of the rocketing takes place from our fob, but we have tons of breachers ready to push in as soon as there's opening and to prevent potential counter raiders. So, one Tuesday, we got to work right after I had a little early morning talk with the boys.
Think of everything that's been taken from you. Think of every loss you've endured. Think of how it felt when you realized your expectations were shattered. You feel that burning inside you. And you let it sit there and let it simmer while we talk today. Now you know your jobs. We know RTA, and RTA knows us. So they think they do. They think they know us because they PvP'd us. We talked a little shit. They raided a flank place and called it a glorious victory and only what I can describe as the greatest display of tiny dick energy in my thousands of hours. To make it worse, they insisted on piping, even though me, arguably, the worst beamer of all of us, cut through them like hot butter and stole their heli with Deluxe this morning. Now you all know your jobs.
Dude, I'm taking the
You know what to
stinkiest
do.
poop right now.
You know precisely the unique way in which we're gonna fuck these dickheads into the dirt. But my job is to collect. You all owe me a debt.
This shit smells like garbage.
You remember that
dude.
little white hot ball we talked about? That's mine now. You're gonna give it to me. And I'm gonna hold on to it and give you something in exchange. I'm gonna give you all an opportunity.
Oh wait, was I
To
interrupting
lose
Trout's
more.
speech?
To let some lazy fucking sod roll over you and piss away something that you worked hard for. This is an opportunity for you to take. For you to reach out and make a fist. This is your moment. This is for no one else. This is for whatever the fuck you want. This is for all of us. Now you're gonna go out there and you're gonna take it. Let's go, boys! Let's fucking go!
Oh, I need a fucking gas mask.
This one right here. That's fine. We don't need it.
Bring it, Simmons.
We don't have it.
Yo, if you don't shut your mouth, I'ma shut it for you, punk.
Watch out, don't get hit by it.
I killed another one?
Rocket.
Coming back.
The lace is loose and fist tight. I never lose a fist fight. Sun up and up all night. If I'm gonna do it, then I'm gonna do it right. A to the R to the A to the E. I'ma stay king. That's what I mean. IJK, I'm on the slurpee. Goddamn, I dropped bars. I was born with the brains and the blood. I am the queen, the gorgeous, the fun. Who's got the high ground now, Obi-Wan?
Get up for metal in here.
Right side combat on the cross line, you know what I mean? Mr. Man, you're right, you're right.
Can we get MLRS or no?
The vending machine's gone. I don't know where to put it, but I have a.
Just hit it, hit it, hit it,
Mr. Man, you're right.
He might be dead or low.
There's another one.
It's gone.
We have three more sets of...
I found
Yeah, I'm all MLRS.
What the fuck are you aiming at?
Brother, I put it where you told me to.
Oh my Christ.
Oh my god, you're retarded.
That is awesome.
You know what?
One more that wall. Actually, one more that wall.
Oh, fuck that. What's up? So for a rip, don't you do it. Don't you fucking dare. Don't. No. 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 Don't do it, Junior.
We both know what's gonna happen now. We both know what's gonna happen. Alright? Gato, look at the ground. Say your prayers.
Let's talk about comms. Clearly, at the end, we suffered a breakdown in communication, which led to me MLRSing our own raid base. Thankfully, we won the raid anyway because, again, we were all the way over here playing it nice and safe. The first thing you have to understand about comms is that as soon as you get more than 5 gamers in a call together, it's going to get hectic. You have to be prepared to turn down Discord volume and adjust people's mics. You need to be ready to hear the people talking over each other, arguing about the most brain-dead bullshit. Good communication, however, is not just saying the word comms before you say something and then getting pissed if no one shuts up. Typically, it's about a team getting on the same wavelength about what info is important to communicate and what can be left unsaid. Here's a few other quick and easy tips. If your team is out of UI, losers, bind the wave gesture to a key. This lets people see names from far away and identify themselves, and use the contact systems to set to friendly. This will eliminate a lot of people asking, "Is this you? Is this us? Why are you shooting me?" Or "Who touched my ass?" Do it again. 5 words or less. As Kevin Malone said, why use many words when few do trick? Try getting your team to think about only the most important points of info to communicate. Should you say, there's some guys coming from over there, should I shoot them? Or, Trout has 2 Arctic Hazzies approaching east, 100 meters. It might seem like cringe military RP, but it's going to distill a lot of that back and forth, which brings me to another point. Use the third person if your team is unfamiliar with each other. Speaking in third person and syncing up your in-game name with your Discord is going to really help players identify who needs help and where. I need help, come to me is a lot shittier of an instruction than Tiger needs more lube on the 3rd floor, get here ASAP. And respond when you're taking action, i.e. hammers on it, running out with KY jelly. This also solves the crowd effect that we referenced earlier. Everyone thinking that someone is going to fix a problem, so in the end, no one does. Use names. Jim Bob, load the turret. Kevin, light the blowtorch. Seamus, get the fertilizer. Getting this communication aspect of your team ironed out is going to be important when you try to Getting this communication aspect of your team ironed out is going to be important when you try more complicated raid strats, like the Siege Raid. Every Vital player's wet dream. The Siege Raid is any long, drawn-out raid that isn't so tight-ass that no one leaves the raid base, but is also almost never 100% in good faith. It's designed to slowly push in and establish a home away from home behind enemy lines, from which you can bleed resources dry over an extended period. Have you ever seen that old scientific footage of an amoeba engulfing another smaller cell? That's the name of the game here, baby. Bro's getting back to his protozoic roots. The idea is not to fire a single rocket at that main base until you've destroyed several external TCs, compound walls, turrets, SAM sites, and windmills, and you've drained the team of a lot of their kits, meds, ammo, and their will to live. But which resource is the most crucial to victory? Is it boom or even players? No, these are all merely the fingers that are pulling apart the asshole of defeat. For a while, I thought it was about time. Raiders have the advantage of planning and preparing this all-day-long shit-flinging contest between 2 groups of apes. They walk into it knowing what they're getting into, but the defenders have no idea what's about to happen. To them, when they see that fob first growing up, they think that you're wrapping up a nice little present in a bow, and when you deliver it, the defenders think they're going to get an epic raid defense video. But what they actually unwrap is the horrifying realities of trench warfare in World War I. So really, what I think the one resource that's most important to winning a siege is resolve. The advantage of this strat is the demoralization factor of having an encroaching army push further and further into your borders, the growing dread of realizing that the boom isn't going to be coming for a long while. And you can fight off the raiders again and again and again, but they're here for the long haul. And they know that the end isn't coming until they've drained all your locker kits and half your team is logged off, and there's nothing left to do but beg for the sweet release of quitting. You have to mental boom them. I think a siege raid can rest anywhere in between here and here on our continuum, depending on a multitude of factors. How many players do you have? How many towers did you build? How long are you sieging before you actually start the raid? Rest assured, the focus is more on safely taking control than being Chads and one-lifing it, but this definitely gives the defenders a little bit more of a fighting chance and more of an experience than that first strat. Our first attempt at this wasn't actually meant to be a methodical, well-planned siege raid, but actually happened sort of last minute when two of our team, Bossman and Deluxe, took it upon themselves to place turrets and TCs as we went through the outer compound and into the base. Our target for this was a group we had no history with called Egirls, and was a result of a last-minute audible. We actually wanted to raid a different group, but we found out the day of that they'd gotten off the server, and Egirls was the perfect consolation prize because they were a big clan base and they were online. So I had a short talk with the boys in Deluxe's newly constructed auditorium, and we got to work.
I'm here to take what's mine. A legacy in the form of glorious combat. I'm talking to you not as a player, but as a force of fucking nature. I'm ready to spit the blood of my enemies back in their face. I'm here to maim, kill, and destroy. Why are you here?
Yeah, say the same literally.
Yeah, there's some people at least walls. Yeah, I'm going on next one. Okay.
We can make like a funnel. He's crippled, he just got fucked. He's dead, Lucy's dead. Make it Tommy. He's crippled again, dude. I hit him 4 times. One more, I headshot him.
We need some.
Holy shit! I'm pretty sure I just killed them all.
Boys, by the way.
Left side.
Yeah, that's not pretty much. Roof is old. Push this. Hiding you. Yeah, sometimes.
There's 3 inside. 3 inside. Nice, smaller ass.
There's two. Type GGs, but don't be fucking toxic. Oh, there's kids.
Now, a word on leadership. Remember when we talked about those roles earlier in the over-prepare section? Shot calling is definitely an important part of that. But to me, there's a difference between a leader and a shot caller. And to illustrate this, I actually have to make a short detour into a show I love called Andor. Now, listen, it's important, I swear. You're not listening. It's just the fucking chapter markers are right there. I recently rewatched Star Wars Andor, and it is so fucking good. Not because I am a needle-dicked nerd, which I am, but because the incredible writing, the set pieces, the acting, everything is just amazing. But I'm going to spoil it for you, at least a part of it. The episode on Narkina 5, the prison break, there's a part where Cassian Andor, our main protagonist, and Kino Loy, the foreman for the prison work crew, take over the control room. And they have the opportunity to speak to the entire prison, to tell them what to do, but more importantly, to motivate them to do it. There's going to be casualties. So they have to get these men convinced to rise up together and take over the complex, or they'll all die in this hellhole, likely right then and there. In this scene, these two men are both leading, but in different ways. Cassian Andor is the experienced, rugged veteran. He's broken out of prison before. He's seen the dark underbelly of a man's soul, and he knows what's there and how to manipulate it. But he's a thief, he's resentful, he doesn't trust anyone. He's not charismatic. Kino Loy is a tough but established leader who makes the difficult decisions he needs to get his men out of their sentences safely, and they know that. He's demonstrated this ability for years, and people respect him for it. But look at him in this scene. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on. He doesn't know what to do. He's never been in a prison break before. Which one of these guys should take the wheel? I think it would be easy to say Andor should grab the mic and start barking orders. You burgers are dog water. You need to push up. Who took all these meds? I said don't leave the base with the rockets. This base is chalked. Fuck it. I'm logging off. I'm done. GG. But that's not what happened.
Tell him what to do. It has to be you. Come on, Kino. You do this every day. Tell him what to do.
Andor knows he's not as reliable a source of leadership to these guys as Kino Loy is.
My name is Kino Loy. I'm the day shift manager on level 5. We are, at this moment, in control of the facility.
Is that the best you got?
He plays to his strengths and makes sure Kino does the same.
How long we hang on, how far we get, how many of us make it out, all of that is now up to us. Wherever you are, right now, get up. Stop the work. Get out of your cells. Take charge and start climbing. We will never have a better chance than this. And I would rather die trying to take them down than giving them what they want. And that ends today. There is one way out. Right now. The building is ours. You need to run, climb, kill. You need to help each other. You see someone who's confused, someone who's lost. You get them moving and you keep them moving until we put this place behind us. There are 5,000 of us. If we can fight half as hard as we've been working, we will be home in no time. One way out. 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 One way out.
One way out. Now, one of the reasons I don't feel bad spoiling this for you is that as good as this speech is, it's not even the best monologue in that fucking episode. Go watch this show and tell me to make a video about it in the comments. You need to figure out what leadership looks like in your crew. Do people follow you because you know what to do, or because they want to follow you into a great story, win or lose? Or is it both? Do they follow somebody else? Personally, I feel leading is the most important role, not shot calling. Your job as a leader is to convince everyone playing in your group that they are no longer playing the video game. Not really. What they're actually doing is pushing buttons on behalf of someone else. And you have to flood infest their brains to push their limbs the way that they need to go. They have to understand that they are part of a greater whole, and that necessarily means they're going to be required to do things they wouldn't do normally or by themselves. Personally, I think what separates good leaders from the greats is how you sell that idea to your group. If you play this game, you've probably seen or heard a really great story about it, either on YouTube or even hearing about your friend's antics from a past wipe. And every one of your players, whether they admit it or not, has their own story going on in their head when they play this game. Make their story significant. Give them meaning. If there are harsh feelings, fan the flames. If there are toxic neighbors, tell your friends about the heinous crimes committed against your group. You want to make this emotional. It's the easiest way to bring your players into the same page in any important way. I'm not even the best at making the stories in our group. I can't tell you how many times I've logged on and I've heard that my friend Higgs has been hammering out the foundations to our neighbor's underwater bunker for hours. Or Burr had grubbed the Full Metal Mem2 set with an Ioka. But I can tell you that them telling me the story of what happened invested me in helping them succeed. This brings me to the last strat of the video. Send it. No plan, no tactics, no speech. Now, at this point in our wipe, we had just been unsuccessfully raided by a group we had history with, Mythos. So for this strat, what you do is you seize the heat of the moment, use that pure emotion you've sold in the story to your group, and you shart rockets onto the enemy base. Get everyone in a scrappy and go. We're now way down here on our spectrum in the fuck it we ball territory. Maximum Chad, minimum chance of survival. We had a lot of history with this group, and we didn't need or want an elaborate methodical game plan. We wanted destruction and mayhem. Everybody, if you have an empty inventory, look in these boxes and just start grabbing shit. Get in the scrappy. Get in the scrappy. Get in the scrappy.
Which way
Who's in the stone compound?
On top.
Anything that's in the way that you think.
Oh, flank. West tweet. We're just gonna siege you. For the two UIs, if you're breach team, you're playing out and you're slowly moving up. If you're not breach team, you're sitting back at the raid base, you're holding for us, and you're holding flankers or anyone that's pushing our sides. Alright, let's see what the next player is. Relax.
Yeah, he's still on the road. He's still on the road.
Oh, fuck.
Oh boy.
It's okay.
Man, someone needs to set a timer. Somebody needs to set a timer and spawn it somewhere.
Oh my god, what a free fire.
We need to break the turret close right window. Top of this rock here. Make it.
I'll bring you in.
Look at that. Behind you. Behind you.
Mythos.
Two guys, left side compound. Around the rock, two of them.
They're sealing. They're sealing for each Did they full seal the bottom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every whittle thing's gonna be alright.
Okay, they just full sealed the breach with HQ.
Got that wall. These walls are
HLMG's inside the garage.
triple. You can just actually in.
Oh, there goes their whole roof. Their whole roof is wide open.
He's stealing the bottom. He's stealing the bottom. He's trying to repair it. His pixel gap works. I hit on this one.
Oh my god.
I'm still build blocks.
Big rock right next to our base.
Our center wall.
Let's go, MLRS.
Good hit.
Good hit. I like it. Right there. That
Still has a refinery, but like.
Dig deep. Everybody needs to dig deep. Dig deep for like the next 15 minutes. Let's go. Let's do this. Come on.
I gotta get off anyways. I got work in the morning.
Alright.
No worries. GG's.
I think their base is fucked.
I died with them too, bro. I'm just done.
How many rockets do we have left?
None, probably.
None.
Type GG. Type GG.
We tried our best to do a quick raid that we just wanted to send one back.
You can't have the idea that we're always gonna win, right? Like,
Yeah.
we lost, but you know what? We spent most of our rockets, we tried sending a raid, and at least we're not pussies.
It's alright, guys. We said fuck it, got in the scrappy, sent it back.
Exactly.
Now, obviously, there's a lot we could have done differently in this raid. Number one, don't try to raid a group that's been building the same base for a fucking month on a 2x server, for that matter. But as far as the other stuff, not maintaining pressure, not systematically taking TCs and choke points, messing up the teams and turret off, all this is part of the send it attitude. And what's important to understand about this strat is it falls directly in line with the last bit that I wanted to talk to you about today. There's only one way out. Keep going. The interesting thing about Rust is that outside of the server wiping, there's no game over. In a way, the game is never over. What this means for you is that you decide the condition for the endgame. Whichever team fights the longest is going to win. In other games, the round ends, the match is over, the game finishes, but not in this game. I misspoke in my last video about the most important factor. I thought it was spite. That's true, but only partially. What I said about the siege raid strat, resolve being the most important resource, well, I think that's true of Rust as a whole. Take RTA, for example. This was a cute little montage, that was a funny little video clip, but they sealed 3 fucking times during this raid, and we kept going. Look, everything I've told you up to this point has been very practical. I've tried not to get too poetic and soapboxy, because there's a certain wisdom to keeping guides like this pithy and to the point. But if there's any one thing that you can take away from this video, it's this. Above all else, do not let losses get you down. You are playing in a large group. Everything is as expendable and replaceable as it was when you were a solo, a duo, or a trio. Only it's much easier to bounce back. So send the raid. Rebuild the base. Go to the fight. Don't pussy out. The most powerful cement that will glue your group together for a long, long time are the memories that you make. So go out there and fail raid, lose fights, and make mistakes, and laugh about it. And if you're not in a large group, use the AK set that you grabbed. Raid those dickhead neighbors, even if you're outnumbered and outgunned, and they're online. In short, fucking send it. The one thing we're all here for is to have fun, whatever that means to you. So go out there and do it, no matter what you're doing. I can't wait to see what you do.
Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you. Only you can let it in. No one else.
Hi. Thank you for watching. This video took a very long time to make, but not actually 24 months as my upload schedule would have you believe. The truth is, I've been editing for other YouTubers full-time for almost a year now. Here are some of the silly little guys that I've made videos for. However, I would like to spend more time making my own videos, and if it isn't painfully obvious, I have full-body orgasms at the sound of my own voice. So I'm trying to make a few videos that are more commentary-focused like this one. I think they'll take a little less time, because surprise, surprise, I have a lot of stuff to say about things. If you'd like that sort of thing, and if you'd like to show your support, please do let me know down in the comments. I also stream extremely sporadically here, and I have a Twitter and a Blue Sky account where I say awful things here. And if you'd like to support me financially, please consider donating to the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza is affecting children at a disproportionate rate. Over 96% of the population are facing food shortages, and over 500,000 of that population are children. The PCRF has a 97% charity rating and is one of the only organizations that dedicated entirely to helping the most vulnerable. Instead of donating to a content creator for a month or two, please consider donating what you can to a cause that needs your help. Thank you so much for watching. Kisses.